Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare Beta Weekend that started on Friday, September the 20th until Monday, the 23rd. Now, I've never played Call of Duty, although I've kept a passive eye on the game over the years, listening to friends and guildmates talk about their experiences and, of course, watching fellow YouTubers gameplay. Going into the beta, I wanted to keep an open mind and not try to make overt distinctions from years of playing Battlefield and other shooters. I knew that Call of Duty had its own style of play and a very dedicated fan base. After creating my Activision account, it was pretty much a straight shot into the game. Fairly quick loading screens, user-friendly and intuitive setting screens that put you right into the game. I suppose you could say that Call of Duty puts you into the action with minimal setup clutter. Everything felt pretty straightforward. Weapon selection was quite nice. I liked how the weapon loadout interface worked. There was a nice selection of weapons, attachments, gadgets, and the kill streak items were all there for you to cycle through along with field upgrades. The selection of classes we had to choose from were Assault, Ghost, Heavy Support, Demolition, and Sniper. They each had their own pre-loadouts till you reached about rank 4. Then you could customize your weapons and loadout. It doesn't take long to get to 4. I found that playing the Ghost class suited my gameplay quite nicely, and I was able to hit that rank 4 pretty quickly. Any speculation I had about how fast the game pace would be quickly eroded. The time to kill was certainly quick, but it wasn't necessarily putting me off. There was quite a bit of discussion among the Call of Duty community about the time to kill, along with an uproar of whether or not the developers were covertly incorporating a skill-based matching system that would pair players of equal or greater skill and or those players kind of like myself who were struggling, so that you wouldn't be overwhelmed, I suppose, by other players. But of course there was no conclusive information, statistics, or data to substantiate that particular speculation. I consider myself lucky if I had a matching kill ratio and even a level of satisfaction when I would get the occasional kill streak item to deploy. The game ran really smoothly on my older rig. I have an i7 960 3.2 gigahertz with 12 gigs of RAM running a 1050 Ti graphic card. I didn't experience any of the absolutely frustrating and annoying micro lag or rapid frame drops like I get in Battlefield 5. Granted, this was a beta, so having issues is to be expected. For me, I did experience that graphic artifact distortion on the game selection screen with the characters kind of having that 2D boxy look to them. There were some UI glitches in the game, but I wasn't sure if those were some sort of kill streak countermeasure. Also, there were moments of screen transition lag and a few crash lockups, but overall the game felt very solid in comparison to most betas I covered here on the channel. There are a handful of reasons why I never played Call of Duty, but a couple of those reasons, and these aren't necessarily criticisms, they're more game style nuances, but I didn't like the smaller confining maps and lack of vehicles. But with the introduction and redesign of maps, including the larger maps and vehicles, my interest in Call of Duty led me to want to try it out, and I have to say, I'm glad I did. The 32-32 maps were crazy chaotic, and it was a lot of fun finally being able to fly a little bird in this game, although it didn't have operational guns you could use, but would allow you to pick up teammates and distribute them throughout the map and maybe even drop them behind some of the vehicles that were running around on the map. Setting up the controls for the vehicles was incredibly easy, and I suppose this could be what I would call as part of being the Call of Duty playstyle, and that is you jump in and you start having fun. And I suppose because of this simplicity, which is also not a criticism when I mention the simplicity of it, operating the ground vehicles was just as entertaining, and it was kind of funny how OP the ground vehicles were, and watching players' reactions was equally as amusing. It wasn't even necessary to aim directly at a target, but apparently it had splash damage, so if you fired near somebody it would take them out, and if you shot into windows and doorways within the area of the windows and the doorways, you could also take out targets. The other aspect of vehicles is that you could take small arms damage. It wasn't exclusively rockets or mines that could take out tanks as we see in Battlefield, but you could do damage with most weapons and gadgets. Between the vehicles being pretty OP and being taken out by handguns, as it were, it was kind of just par for the course in my opinion as part of the Call of Duty playstyle. Jump in and have fun, and that was kind of just my approach. I think it was an amazing marketing move by Activision and Infinity Wars to allow this open beta as opposed to being a pre-purchase qualification to be able to participate, because a lot of us that have been playing Battlefield 5 have been a bit disillusioned, and the possibility of Call of Duty appealing to some of us as Battlefield 5 players was probably in the mix of that marketing move, and I'm curious to see how DICE will be affected by that. But for me in general, I'm not really sure I'm ready to drop $59.99 on the game, but if it goes on sale at Thanksgiving or Christmas, I'll certainly consider it. But also the potential of additional content and things that will be coming out for the game may pique my interest, and I may end up picking up the game. My guildmates were still on the fence, but it's possible they'll pick up the game as well when it goes on sale, but who knows. I'm hoping that maybe we'll get more compelling additions and content, and I may pick it up nonetheless and feature it here on the channel. So that's my first impressions of the game. I would have liked to have had more time to test it out, the weapons and other features, but I had some family emergencies that came up, and apparently Comcast was doing maintenance this weekend as well, so I didn't get a lot of time to go further into depth. I do encourage you guys to click that like button if you feel that this would be additional content you would like to see here on the channel, and I may go ahead and pick the game up. On that note, guys, I want to thank all of you for watching, and I would encourage you now to click on that channel icon appearing on the screen to subscribe, along with notifications so you know when content is released here on the channel, because I may end up picking the game and I'll be more than happy to do additional coverage.